Ethan loved late-night ham radio sessions. There was something soothing about tuning into static, searching for distant voices from other enthusiasts scattered across the world. His setup in the basement was modest but reliable. A vintage transceiver, a homemade antenna on the roof, and a desk cluttered with logs and diagrams tonight. However, the static sounded different. It was quieter than usual, almost expectant. He adjusted the dial, scanning for any signals. At first, nothing. Then, a faint voice crackled through the white noise. Calling CQ. CQ. Anyone on this frequency? Quote. Ethan leaned forward. This is K2ETX responding. Who's calling? Quote. There was a long pause. Then the voice returned. Clearer this time. Name's Walter. Call sign. Well, I don't remember. Sorry. It's been a while. Ethan chuckled. No worries, Walter. First time on in a while. Quote. You could say that, Walter replied. His voice was warm, but there was an odd tone beneath it. Hesitation. Maybe. I needed someone to talk to. Well, you found me, Ethan said, glancing at the clock. It was 1:13 a.m. What's on your mind? Quote. Walter sighed, and the static rose briefly before fading. Do you ever feel like you're lost? Like you're not sure how you got where you are? Quote. Ethan hesitated. I guess. Sometimes. Why? Quote. That's where I am, Walter said quietly. Lost. I've been trying to figure out how to get back, but the paths don't look the same anymore. They're broken. Ethan frowned, unsure how to respond. What do you mean? Broken. Are you okay? Quote. I'm not sure, Walter admitted. The last thing I remember clearly was driving. It was late. Like now. The road was empty. And there was this fog. Thick, heavy fog. My headlights couldn't cut through it. I think there was a light ahead. But when I drove toward it, everything went dark. And now? Here I am. Ethan felt a chill creep up his spine. Where's here? Quote. Walter didn't answer. The static crackled again. And for a moment, Ethan thought he heard faint voices overlapping. A chorus of whispers. He strained to listen. They don't want me to say, Walter finally said, his voice lower. But I'll tell you this. Don't follow the light. If you see it, turn around. Go back. Wait. Walter, Ethan said, his pulse quickening. What light? What are you talking about? Quote. The radio emitted a sharp, piercing tone that made Ethan wince. When it stopped, Walter's voice was barely audible. They're coming. I have to go. Remember, don't follow the light. The signal cut out completely, replaced by empty static. Ethan sat there for a long moment, staring at the transceiver. Finally, he shook his head and logged the conversation in his notebook. It had to be a prank, he thought. Someone messing around with ghost stories on an open frequency. But as he climbed the stairs and looked out the window, a dense fog had rolled in, shrouding the street in white. And in the distance, faint but unmistakable, a bright light pierced through the mist, growing closer.